I move to extend the period of contempt of Attorney Lopez, Mr. Chair.
May I know how the totality of evidence was evaluated that merited the contempt order by the chair?
Question the case of...
Mr. Chair, I directed
Andali
the
po.
question to you.
I am not yet finished my manifestation or answer the query of the Honorable Marcoleta. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, was the honorable... Before you answer, before you recognize him,
you are out of order.
I deserve, Mr. Chair, an answer.
If you wanted to be investigated
Mr. Chair,
matter, I think,
I
Mr. Chairman, this is not the right
the floor, Mr. Chair.
I still have the floor, Mr.
What is the point of order?
Congressman Marcoleta, please wait to be recognized. 1 minute suspension.
Pwede po bang pigilan ng isang nagsasalita?
Before you continue, the chair would like to recognize the presence of the Honorable Vice President Sara Duterte. Please continue.
Okay, Mr. Chair, so nakita natin no, yung melodramatic na nangyari noong weekend, at nakita natin yung kwento ng ating mga, yung ni SecGen, SAA, tungkol doon sa, Mr. Chair, parang merong problema sa audio, Mr. Chair. At nakita natin, Mr. Chair, na talagang taliwas sa mga napanood natin sa social media, doon sa mga reports, yung totoong nangyari. Hello? Okay. So, Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. As I've said, no, doon sa mga kwento na napanood natin, sa statement ni BP Sara, at saka sa statement ng COS, ng OVP, so na-realize natin dito, taliwas doon sa kwento nila, yung tunay na pangyayari. Of course, pinatunayan niya nung interpellation ni Representative Swansing at saka ni Congressman Corwin. So, Mr. Chair, in our last session, so just to review, the committee passed my motion to hold Attorney Lopez in contempt under Section 11F of the Rules of Inquiries in Aid of Legislation for undue interference in our proceedings, and resolved to detain her for a period of 5 days instead of 10 days, or maximum of 10 days, as provided for in our Section 12 of the same rule. I must stress also, Mr. Chair, that the totality, just you have said a while ago, the totality of Attorney Lopez's acts and conduct warranted a detention of more than 5 days. Considering the totality of her acts of undue interference to the proceedings of this committee and the Congress as a whole, she not only admitted writing to the COA in order to suppress or prevent the release of documents, but worse, Mr. Chair, she continued to assert her position during our hearing, as well as in prior correspondences that she sent to his committee in refusing to attend our prior hearings. But by virtue of her conduct, the committee was deprived of invaluable information necessary to allow it to perform its role of crafting legislation for the improvement of the country's system of governance and transparency, Mr. Chair. In fact, she only attended when a threat of contempt citation loomed large should she fail to comply again with the subpoena duces tecum, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in view of the what happened during the last 2 days or so, I would like to consider to move for a reconsideration of our resolution insofar as it's limited the period of detention for only 5 days. I move, Mr. Chair, that the period of detention of Attorney Lopez be 10 days instead of 5 days. So I move, Mr. Chair.
10 days, so additional 5 days, tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair, kasi hindi na siya makaka-attend ngayon, ano. Talagang so nakita naman natin sa history nung kanyang evasive attitude, behavior, at itong kinreate niya na sinasabi niya na nagpagsisinungaling niya na hindi naman siya hinaras or hindi naman siya na-barge yung room ay kasama na po yan. So yung lahat ng mga pangyayari, Mr. Chair. So I repeat, I move to extend the period of contempt of Attorney Zulaika Lopez, Mr. Chair.
Is there second to the motion?
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Marcoleta.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Before an action may be taken by the committee, may I know how the totality of evidence was evaluated that merited the contempt order by the chair?
Congresswoman Castro.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to
Mr. Chair, may I
I'd like to
answer?
apprise the
Yes,
court,
Congresswoman
Mr. Chair,
Castro.
So,
that in the case
so
of
sino po ang in-acknowledge niyo,
This
nire-recognize,
is,
Mr. Chair?
this is a point of
Marcoleta.
information, Mr.
Okay.
Chair. This is
Yes.
something that has to do with the rights
Congressman
of the liberty
Marcoleta.
people. In the court,
Congressman Marcoleta, let us, the chair recognizes Congrwoman
may
Castro.
I ask, Mr.
Please
Chair?
proceed, Congresswoman Castro.
Mr. Chair, may I ask the action of the committee first on my motion, Mr. Chair, before we entertain?
We will rule on the
Okay,
motion first.
okay.
Is there any second to the motion?
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized first?
Duly seconded. Is there any objection?
Mr. Chair,
Hearing none, the motion is
I was
carried.
recognized
Mr. Chair.
earlier before any action may be taken by the court, by the chair. Why is it that I am not allowed to speak?
Congressman Marcoleta, there is a pending motion. We just acted
Yes,
on the
but
pending
before
motion
that
first.
motion can be taken up, because this is about the liberty of an individual. May I be heard?
Yes, you will be heard, Congressman Marcoleta, but we just acted on the motion. Now, Congresswoman Castro, please, could you please answer the query of Congressman Marcoleta?
I have not yet asked the question, Mr. Chair.
Okay,
I
please
am trying to
continue.
explain my point.
Please continue, Congressman Marcoleta.
Because in the totality of evidence, as stated by Honorable Castro, there is an existing case, Mr. Chair. Ong versus Senate, GR number 257401, which says that the court ruled that the determination of whether a testimony was false or evasive requires an assessment of the totality of evidence presented to determine whether a witness speaks truthfully or merely trying to evade answering the question directly. So I am asking, Mr. Chair, how was the totality of evidence assessed, if ever it was assessed? Ano po yung pinagbatayan? I think we deserve to know how the assessment was made. This concerns the liberty of an individual. Under the Constitution, no one should be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. I think Attorney Lopez deserves to be heard. Ano po yung assessment na ginawa ng chair o ng committee? Kasi po, ang nabasa ko lang o nakita ko, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez wrote the COA explaining the position of the OBP that the audit observation memo is not conclusive, which means, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez is merely explaining the nature of an audit observation memo. If I were the lawyer of the OBP, I would have done the same, because I think the very nature of the AOM, it is not final and executory. Why would the COA abdicate its mandate of auditing the transaction or the funds utilization of the OBP? Why would the committee, Mr. Chair, arrogate upon itself the very mandate and responsibility of the Commission on Audit? Article 9D, Section 2, Paragraph 1 of the 1987 Constitution, Mr. Chair, I will read. The Commission on Audit shall have the power, authority, and the duty to examine, audit, and settle all accounts pertaining to the revenue and receipts of and expenditures or uses of funds and property. Mr. Chair, this constitutional provision jibes with Section 25, Paragraph 2 of Presidential Decree 1445 or the State Audit Code of the Philippines, which says, to develop and implement a comprehensive audit program that shall encompass an examination of financial transactions, accounts, and reports, including evaluation of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Meaning to say, Mr. Chair, the mandate and authority to audit accounts on the expenses or expenditures of government is only the COA. I believe it is my respectful submission, Mr. Chair, that this committee usurped that particular mandate and that will now put the Commission on Audit positions in a compromise, Mr. Chair. How will you now assess the authority, the integrity, and the mandate? It is an independent constitutional body which mandate rests upon them. And I think the audit observation memo, Mr. Chair, is still under process by the committee, by the Commission on Audit. Why would we take that responsibility from the Commission on Audit? Why don't we allow the process to proceed and complete that investigation? I am raising a constitutional issue before this committee, Mr. Chair. We cannot arrogate upon ourselves the principal mandate reposed to the COA. It is the Constitution itself which gave them that responsibility, that authority and mandate. Where in Article 7 of the Philippine Constitution, which is the grant of legislative power, can this committee arrogate upon itself that particular mandate? I would like that question to be answered, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. The Chair would like to recognize the Honorable Congressman Paduan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, just to clear it out with regards to the jurisprudence that's cited by the Honorable Marcoleta with regards to Ong versus Senate, that is true. No, that the resolution of the Supreme Court favors Lincoln Ong, but that is a question of due process because Lincoln Ong was that time was cited in contempt. Now, question the case of
Mr. Chair, I direct the question to you.
I am not yet finished my manifestation or answer to the query of the Honorable Marcoleta. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, was the Honorable...
Congressman Marcoleta will be recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have all the right.
The question was addressed to... In respect to the Chair, I'd like the Chair to answer. This is a constitutional issue.
Congressman Marcoleta, let me first recognize Congressman Paduano.
Before you recognize him,
Congressman Marcoleta, you are out of order.
I deserve, Mr. Chair, an answer.
1 minute suspension is declared by the Chair.
Bakit sa'yo?
Your Honor, I would like to recognize Honorable Joseph Jojo Lara from the 3rd District of Cagayan, Honorable Roberto T. Uy Jr., Vice Chairperson from the 1st District of Zamboanga del Norte, Honorable Loreto S. Amante from the 3rd District of Laguna, Honorable Raul Daniel A. Manuel from Kabataan Party List, Deputy Majority Leader Jude A. Asidre from Tingog Party List, Deputy Majority Leader Franz S. Pumarian from the 3rd District of Quezon City, Honorable Daphne A. Lagon from the 6th District of Cebu, Honorable Rhea May A. Gulyas from the 1st District of Cebu, Honorable Jaime D. Cuangco from the 1st District of Tarlac. That's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Comsec.
Mr.
Before I
Chair?
recognize Congresswoman Franz Castro.
Yeah, so before anything else, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
before you answer the question of Honorable Marcoleta, may I be cleared out po yung sa aking motion. So my motion is on the table. So may I know the decision of the Chair?
Tapos na po. Na-declare na,
So,
nakapag-act na po ang Chair.
Okay, so wala na po tayong ano doon.
Wala na.
Okay.
There is no pending motion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes. To answer the question of the Honorable Marcoleta with respect to the totality of acts of Attorney Lopez, the Chair already explained it clearly in my opening remarks. And I will repeat, Congressman Marcoleta. While Attorney Lopez presented herself as respectful or courteous, nakita po ng committee na ang kanyang mga sagot at mga pagkilos mula sa mag-umpisa ng inquiry nito ay evasive, uncooperative, and untruthful. Ang suma total at kabuuan ng kanyang mga acts and responses ultimately convinced the committee that Attorney Lopez was guilty of interfering in and frustrating Congress' exercise of its power of legislative inquiry. Halimbawa, isolated incident lang daw ang kanyang pagtanggal kay Yusek Gloria Mercado sa DepEd, subalit napaamin rin siya kalaunan na may mga iba pa siyang mga tinatanggal na opisyal sa DepEd kahit na hindi siya opisyal neto. Paulit-ulit din pong sinabi ni Attorney Lopez na wala siyang alam sa utilization ng Confi Fund ng OBP. Paulit-ulit ito na sagot, subalit may mga dokumento at ebidensya kagaya na lamang ng mga sulat sa COA at testimonya mismo ng iba pa nitong resource persons na nagtuturo kay Attorney Lopez bilang involved hindi lang sa pag-request ng Confi Fund kundi pati na rin sa utilization at liquidation nito. Inamin ni Attorney Lopez na sila ng kanyang assistant COS na si Limuel Ortoño ang nakalagda sa sulat sa COA patungo sa liquidation ng confidential funds. Inamin niya rin na nag-issue siya ng isa pang sulat na tinatangkang pigilan ng COA sa pag-comply sa isang subpoena mula sa kongresong ito. Ilang beses rin po nakatanggap ang komite ng mga iba pang sulat mula kay Attorney Lopez na tumatangging humarap sa komite on the basis of the same grounds na kanyang inilahad sa sulat ng COA. Kung titignan po ang totality of Attorney Lopez acts, malinaw na mayroong clear, persistent, and willful attempt to interfere, frustrate, and defeat the inquiry undertaken by the committee. At dahil dito ay nahatulan siya ng contempt under Section 11F of our Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. During the course of the hearing, Attorney Lopez was asked, tinanong po siya kung sila po ay nagsampa ng kaso dito po sa Supreme Court. Dito po sa request ng Kamara para humingi po ng mga dokumento at sinabi po niya ay hindi. Ang act po ng Congress, ito po ay nadesisyonan na noong nakaraang committee hearing at kung meron man pong question sa constitutionality na ginagawa po ng Kamara at any time, pwede po tayong mag-question sa Supreme Court via petition for certiorari. Maraming salamat po, Congressman Marcoleta.
Mr. Chair, yun nga po yung tinatanong ko sa inyo kanina kung paano ginanap yung assessment ng totality of evidence. Sapagkat kung napansin po ninyo, isinama po yung di umano ay pagtatanggal ng ibang kawani ng DepEd na wala yatang ang pagkakatingin ko po sa mga minutes ay wala pong due process na pinagtatanggal po sila. Isa po yun yata sa ebidensya na ipinasok ninyo sa totality. Tama po ba?
Isa lamang po yun sa mga
Opo,
napag-usapan po.
gusto ko lamang pong puntuhan
Tama
yun
po.
sapagkat ako po bilang isa, tinanggal po ako sa lahat ng aking committee. Hindi ko man lang po alam kung ano yung kasalanan ko. I was not even informed. The first element of due process is notice. I was not notified. What did I do wrong? Wala po. Pero pinagtatanggal po ako, tinanggap ko naman eh. Pero wala pong due process. Yung po ang gusto kong ipaintindi rin. Pati nga po yung membership ko sa Commission on Appointments na wala namang kinalaman dito sa gawain natin sa Kongreso, tinanggal din po ako ron. Meron po bang due process? Tingnan po ninyo yung ginawa niyang sulat.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman, point of order.
What is the point
I
of
think,
order, Congressman
Mr. Chairman, the
Fernandez?
good gentleman is not under investigation in this committee, and we are investigating other matter. If you wanted to be investigating
Mr.
that
Chair,
matter, I think,
I
Mr. Chairman,
still
this is not the
have
right
the
point.
floor,
Point of
Mr.
order is
Chair.
proper.
I still have the
What is-
floor, Mr.
what is the
Marcoleta.
point of
I'm still-
order?
the
Congressman
point of order.
Marcoleta, please wait to be
suspend, Mr.
recognized.
Chair.
1 minute
Pwede
suspension
po
is
bang
declared by the
pigilan
chair.
ng isang nagsasalita?
Mr. Chair, while you are suspended, may we respectfully request that all the employees of the Office of the Vice President sit together so that we can easily confer with each other, because the other employees are quite few seats away from us. So we want to sit together so that we can confer easily with each other. Please, thank you.
Point of order, that's the second highest motion. So he has to respect it, the point of order of, i-roll mo.
May I proceed, Mr. Chair?
Relax ka lang.
The point of order.
Mr. Chair,
The point of
Congressman
order.
Acop is recognized.
with the indulgence of the Honorable Marcoleta, Mr. Chair, I think we might as well agree to disagree with one another here bago po tayo magpatuloy. Di po ba?
Yes, I agree, Congressman Acop.
So, we follow our rules. The Honorable Marcoleta is a member of this Congress, so he knows the rules and he is obligated to follow the rules. Otherwise, he'll be declared out of order and be taken out of this room. So, for all of us, members of Congress, let's follow the House rules. That's why they are there, for orderly proceedings. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Acop. We will now proceed to the next item in our agenda.